Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and here is your coronavirus tech news, meaning the tech news that is affected by the coronavirus for Tuesday, March 31st of 2020. And I'm very sorry for missing yesterday on Monday. Thank you for all the well wishes, etc. I have been under the weather and trying to keep up with everything I've got to do, including my normal workload, plus the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition, which I will update you guys on later in this video. But I want to get started here because we've got some very interesting news basically to talk about. And the first article is coming from the Associated Press. Now, this is actually kind of terrifying, or is it? Now, here's what's going on. According to online data published by China's three largest cell phone carriers, subscriptions have dropped a total of 20.65 million, let's say 21 million, in January and February. China Mobile Limited, which basically had a drop of 7.25 million subscribers in the 2-month period, while China Unicom lost 7.8 million subscribers, and China Telecom lost 5.6 million in February alone. Now, this has led to a lot of speculation that basically roughly 25 million people in China have actually died due to the coronavirus. And it's understandable because China is rather notorious for basically being not honest with their numbers. I think they are currently incorrect in their numbers right now. I've literally been tracking this daily due to my own reporting, and it took them over a week to grow 1,000 infected cases of coronavirus right in the smack of the middle of this around March 15th or so. That is an absolute sham. There's no doubt of that whatsoever. But there is a bit more to this than this 21 million, because this has basically risen to a lot of speculation saying that 21 million people in China have died due to the coronavirus. And honestly, if I'm being honest, even though I'm very skeptical of China's numbers given their notoriety, it's quite frankly a lot more to the issue than a simple drop in cell phone usage. Now, a representative with China Mobile Limited said that while the situation was related to the coronavirus outbreak, it's not actually related to deaths, but changes in lifestyle. And quite frankly, I believe this, and I quote, "It was mainly due to reduced business and social activities resulting from the COVID-19 outbreak." This is according to a spokesman for the company that confirmed to the Associated Press, and I quote again, "Many customers in China have multiple SIM cards." That's true, and it is common that their use that they use their non-primary SIM cards to do these activities, such as social media and all that kind of stuff. Now, that makes sense because in a contraction of an economy, and China went through an economical contraction in the same way that we here in the United States are seeing that as we are working from home, laying off people, all that kind of stuff. The economy is a mess worldwide right now. But here's the thing, as I mentioned before, China isn't always forthcoming with these numbers, so there has got to be a balance between those people that, let's say, are killing extra SIM cards to save money as they are hunkering down and hoarding cash. And I've read articles that worldwide, whatever your currency is, people are hoarding the currency to basically survive through the next, let's say, 3 to 6 months of the coronavirus, versus those people that have dropped off. Because I've also read articles that from the Associated Press and other major primary reporting outlets that people in Wuhan, China are basically saying, don't believe the government. The incinerators are running day and night. And while they say only a few thousand have died recently, we are looking at tens of thousands given the drop in productivity and all of this. So I think there's a balance to be made somewhere between 21 million, which I highly, highly doubt. And I think there's a lot of people that are literally just trying to save cash, versus the fake or non-existent numbers the Chinese government is giving, which is basically nil compared to everything else. And so we are probably looking at tens of thousands more victims than what the Chinese government is portraying. But don't believe the fake news. There's going to be a lot of news outlets that are telling you 21 million people died in China. And literally, we have an economic impact study from one of the major Chinese telecom carriers here that essentially disproves that. While the numbers can't necessarily be believed, it's going to be nowhere near 21 million, and that is my entire point. And so there we go. I think this also proves and really underscores that the Chinese government is not telling the truth. And again, that is my speculation. Feel free to disagree with me. Moving on, let's go to NPR, National Public Radio. And for the record, my radio show is syndicated on public radio and NPR affiliates around the continental United States, and I believe some in Canada as well. So feel free to listen to my radio show, but I'm just letting you know my possible bias to NPR here, just full disclosure. They have an article entitled Amazon Instacart Grocery Delivery Workers Demand Coronavirus Protection and Pay. Now, here's what's going on, as this may directly affect your local community and or your supply chain as you order from Amazon. Some Amazon warehouse workers in Staten Island, New York, and Instacart's grocery delivery workers nationwide walked off their jobs yesterday on Monday. They are demanding basically stepped up protection and pay as they continue to work while much of the country obviously is isolated due to the coronavirus. These protests come as both Amazon and Instacart have said they plan to hire tens of thousands of new workers. Both of these organizations are considered critical to the United States infrastructure. If Amazon goes down, oh God, are we screwed? They're that big. Now, online shopping and grocery home delivery are skyrocketing for obvious reasons because we are all sheltering in place, basically following the orders of recommendation from both local, state, and federal officials here within the United States. This has put a spotlight, though, on workers who shop, pack, and deliver, basically high demand supplies, whether it's food, medicine, whatever that is. Companies refer to these workers as quote unquote heroes, but the workers say their employees aren't doing enough to keep them safe. And these workers are asking for a variety of changes. And to quote the NPR article here, workers from both Amazon and Instacart want more access to paid sick time off. At this time, it's available only to those who have tested positive the coronavirus or get placed on mandatory self-quarantine, meaning an employee that is around that. And to continue, and I quote, Amazon workers want their warehouse to be closed for a longer cleaning with guaranteed paid. I mentioned this in a recent coronavirus tech news update that there were 6 Amazon warehouses that had been infected. Some are not taking off, just basically self-quarantining those that were exposed to people that tested positive, meaning they are part of that self-quarantine people that should be getting some kind of benefit. Some have gone basically shut down the warehouse temporarily to essentially disinfect it, and they're saying, the Amazon employees rather are saying that cleaning is not good enough, it's not long enough or complete enough. And to continue, and I once again quote the article, Instacart's grocery delivery gig workers are asking for disinfectant wipes and hand sanitizer and better pay to offset the risk that they are taking. And end quote. So I think that's something that we have to look at. But quite frankly, Amazon is essentially in this case beholden to their workers. If their workers don't want to work, nothing is going to get moved, including critical medical supplies to a lot of organizations that rely on Amazon for this kind of thing. This is a very serious issue, and given the cash richness of Amazon, I have to imagine that they are going to eventually at some point really start paying out to their workers to ensure that continuity of service so that they survive this. They are they're one of the largest providers in the United States and the world of supply chain. So that is a huge, huge thing. And finally, I want to talk about the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition. As you know, I am a member, and there are 2,000 plus members of us worldwide representing huge organizations, governments, either unofficially or officially, and we are continuously collecting threat intelligence, and I want to bring you some of that intelligence right now so that you can continue to protect yourself. We have caught and been sharing intel on threat actors that are impersonating both the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization. And so if you see an email from National Health Center at gravit.net or mitch.collins@hotmail.com. I don't know why that one's in there, but nevertheless, apparently mitch.collins is emailing basically phishing and malicious emails, or you have seen these websites, cdchealth.org, not gov, cdchealth.org, or any kind of subdomain, in this case, ur14510.cdchealth.org, please ignore. Anything you see from cdchealth.org is considered malicious. That is vetted intelligence courtesy of the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition. And if you are in cybersecurity, please feel free to sign up. You can message me or you can go look it up, but we are a growing member of people that are becoming the line in the sand to defend you, health institutions, and critical infrastructure. And so that is your cyber coronavirus tech news of the day, rather. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. And in this case, stay healthy, probably unlike myself. Take care.